So I guess for the first time in this airport's history, they've had a fatal mishap. Cargo aircraft skids off of Hong Kong runway into the sea. And it's just a crazy turn of events. It killed 2 workers doing security driving in a truck. So they weren't even involved in any way in this flight. There were 4 pilots on board that all successfully egressed. It skidded off the runway, collided with a security patrol vehicle before it fell into the sea early Monday, killing the 2 people in the car. It was the Turkey-based ACT Airlines, was landing at Hong Kong International around 3:50 a.m. Well, very early from Dubai. It was under lease by Emirates. They did not seek help before landing and had taxied about halfway down the runway before skidding to a stop. And the patrol car absolutely did not rush onto the runway. It was the plane that went off the runway and crashed in a patrol vehicle. And you can see there they popped the slides. When rescue arrived, the plane was broken to parts, floating in the sea. Crew members were waiting to be rescued at its open door. Then they found the 2 security workers trapped in the car after a 40-minute search, so they died in the vehicle. They show some video that was partially submerged, and that's a picture of where it happened. I mean, you have to say about that, except that it was a 32-year-old airplane, and they call it an accident, obviously, because it's fatal, and they're going to pull all the tapes. Gonky, you've talked to some friends in the cargo world. What are you hearing?
I don't know. Some of my friends in the cargo world talking about the 747. They've had some like outboard gear issues lately. A quick search on YouTube, there's several videos out there of 747s landing with the issues with the outboard main mount, but it's just odd that, and I missed it. Was it raining or anything? Did the article say?
I did not see anything about the weather conditions. Doug, can you pull that back up real quick?
I mean, it was nighttime.
The weather was suitable.
Yeah.
So,
well, usually Asia's like endless Florida summer. You might get a thunderstorm in the pad. But anyways, the part that makes it a bit odd is, it landed, commenced, what I perceive is a somewhat normal rollout. And then halfway down the runway, it looks like it just veered off.
Yeah.
And, airplanes don't do that unless it's intentional or you have some sort of sudden directional control problem. And I saw they took like an overhead view of where the car was. And yeah, those guys were just doing like perimeter search in a truck, quite a ways off from the runway. So I think I saw where the 747 went into the water, like 60 knots or so. I mean, so it was still traveling at decent speed, but yeah, it's just sad that happened. And given the distance from the runway to the road, at least my perception of it, it's sad because there's no way you could miss a 747 bearing down on you. And that's just like, it's a terrible way to go, man. I mean, my thoughts and prayers of their family. And it'll be interesting to see what they find as far as what caused that thing to swerve off the runway like that.
Yeah. I mean, you always think of the big ones, runway condition, which, if it was good weather, so it's pretty easy to kind of rule that out. Brakes, landing gear, high, landing long or fast, but if it was slowed down, I don't know, man. This is going to be something that the investigators will have to take a look at. All the factors, all the landing parameters are going to be looked at from way back when they were stable configured to how hard they hit the runway when they touched down, and the other part is at the time, freight dogs, they do some oddball hours. So you go back and you look at their crew day, how they were sleeping. Were they fatigued? What did they do prior to that? It's a 4-man crew, so that's a pretty long flight, more than likely, unless they were repositioning for something, like unless it was deadheaders or something like that.
Dubai to Hong Kong, that's a haul.
That's what I'm saying. So it probably is, 4-man crew because that's required for their crew rest. So were they rested? You can't rule out mechanical, aircraft issues, maintenance issues, or pilot issues until they do their full investigation. But I mean, you're right. Just driving, doing your security patrol. It's funny that not funny, but it's unique to me that it's a 2-man security patrol, because typically stuff like that would be a single person in a vehicle.
Really?
Just doing a roving patrol. Yeah. I mean, like if you go to a lot of US places, they'll have multiple vehicles, each with one person in it, because you got a radio and somebody else can go. It's surprising to me. Now that could be their SOP,
training,
or it could be training
Yeah.
which to me is even worse because it's like, dude, it's training day, and next thing you know, I mean, getting trapped in a car in the water
Oh, dude. Yeah.
is just a horrific thing. And I feel for the victims there and especially their families. I mean, they're thinking this is a safe security gig, and of all things, this happens. And it kind of reminds me a little bit of the Jeju thing, just in that we talk about what happens when you go off the runway. When you start going off-roading and stuff, it just
all bets are off, dude.
Yeah, I mean, you hit things that you didn't even think were possible to hit. And here,
Right.
aircraft breaks in half, ends up in the water, hits a security patrol.
Right.
They were lucky there wasn't a seawall. They didn't head first into a seawall. But
or dude, they're lucky that wasn't a taxiway full of A380s full of people, right? So
Right.
I mean, given the speed that it left the prepared runway surface, I mean, as well as I do, like, man, if you still got like 80 knots on the airplane, I mean, the rudder is still pretty effective. Like, it would take it's going to take something I think pretty drastic happened.
I mean, what was it? Double the board?
Oh, for the
yeah,
I forget. Yeah, for the stop distance.
Yeah, but you'd be ejecting at that point in a fighter. If you're going off the prepared surface, you're out. You're done. But you obviously don't have that option in the 7.4. But yeah, just there's too many of these. That's the thing is, I think aviation is still inherently safe, but we are seeing I think a noticeable rise in at least the reporting of stuff like this.
Yeah, and I've been to that airport in Hong Kong. I mean, it's just a beautiful area. I love Asia. Maybe I'm biased, but it's just sad that sad, man.
So Tom says there was a 16-knot crosswind out of the north. It was an empty repositioning flight. So I mean, crosswind, landing gear. If you put pressure on a gear, land firm, side load, adjust it and put any kind of load.
Right.
Do you remember? Well, God, it's probably been 6 years ago. It was like Air China. They did the go around, but kind of partially landed in the grass at O'Hare in between the runways.
Yes, we talked about that, didn't we?
Did we talk about it?
Yeah, it's a 7.4.
Yeah. Same thing though, right?
They got it on video.
That's a robust aircraft, but long haul flying those aircraft like that, sometimes stuff happens. So
yeah,
but investigators are going to have their work cut, and because it's Boeing, I would imagine Boeing will be involved.
They should. They should be.
I think Americans will be involved in this investigation as well.
Well, especially if it's anomaly with the airplane, they're going to want to know.
Yeah.